If you have come to witness some high-powered pool, well, you are in the right spot. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Diamond Bigfoot 10-Ball Challenge. 16 of the greatest players on the entire planet playing on this beautiful Diamond 5 by 10-foot table. We're in round one, and it's time to meet the players. First up, he's a 2018 Manny Pacquiao 10-Ball champion, 2017 World Pool runner-up, sponsored by Predator, Night Shot, On the Rail, Donkey Stable from Mingland, the Philippines. Let's hear it for Roland Garcia. And his opponent doesn't need much introduction. He's a world 8-ball, 9-ball, and 10-ball champion, 2-time U.S. Open champion, 7-time Mosconi Cup champion. He's sponsored by Predator, Rassan, Tiger, Q-World, and Tom from Pontefract, England. Make some noise for the Dynamite, Darren Appleton. We're lagging for the break. It's a race to 11, and going to send things up to the guys in the Accu-Stats booth.
Hello and welcome, pool fans from around the world. We have our Sports Ultimate Challenge up next, the Bigfoot 10-Ball on the 10-foot table. I'm Mark Wilson, and my partner for this match is the finest pool analyst going, Jeremy Jones. Any opening thoughts here, Jeremy?
No, just watching that lag, Mark, and both guys look relaxed. Roland, who's probably, you could say, in a bit more of his form than Darren, even though Darren's trying to get that form back. He's putting in a lot of time. Roland, who just came off a second-place finish in Arizona to Feder in that Pro Players Series that brought you by CSI and Predator. And Roland's a guy who's been making more of a name for himself the last few years here in the States. Amazingly enough, some of the players and fans didn't know Roland that well, but like I said, making a lot of noise the last couple of years, and Darren Appleton's name kind of speaks for itself. So,
Daz, friends call him Dynamite. It's his nickname in pool. He's won the lag. This is a race to 11. There was about a period of about 5 or 6 years where this was top of the line here. Appleton, great stroke mechanics, super tough attitude. He's 43 years old from Pontefract, England. Cue ball had a little hop there.
yeah, he's a guy that changed Q Sports in the middle of, he was arguably one of the top English 8-ball players along, playing any kind of 8-ball. There's the break speed.
Yep, that's the Demon Speed app. It's a pretty cool thing, new this year. First time we get to look at it. Roland's going to push out to a long, tough 1-ball.
And it's one that Darren should take. It's not one you're normally not going to take, even though it's tough. You have to turn the cue ball a little loose going towards the 4-8 and the 7, but I think it's one he's supposed to shoot at now. He could cross this over and run the cue ball towards the 9, maybe.
He passed it back.
Wow.
I find that very surprising because you feel so bad if the guy runs out from here. You just feel like they had a better choice.
Well, the layout of the table had a lot to do with his decision. Looking at the table, the 5 very tough, 4 very difficult to get on the 5, even though the 4 is very easy. But for an opening shot myself, I like taking that on myself. Even if I don't see myself getting out, maybe the percentages are very low, I still like to be the one to take on that shot. Okay, that's the shot I was talking about that Feder had in that first match, come on one rail, pulling it out to the center without catching that second rail. Such an important shot to have. Does he play the 4 off the 8? If the 5 doesn't go, maybe the 8 opens the 9 up, maybe?
Good call.
Because it's very difficult to get from the 4 to the 5 on the short side.
Pretty convenient bump there on the 7. Because,
2 bumps, right?
Yeah.
Now he can draw with a low right spin. If he's really worried about the 5, he can draw with a low right spin.
Yeah, he's looking at your very shot where he's going to dislodge the 9 down there with the 8, playing the 4 on the side.
And you don't have to hit it real hard, remember that. Yeah, you just need a little bump. Yeah, he didn't get it.
I think the draw on the cue ball put a little top spin and kind of drugged that ball away.
And I guess this really has no pocket. If it doesn't, he's in a funny, funny situation. Now, Roland keeps calling the ball. He'll realize at some point that it's not needed. These guys are just used to it with the 10 ball these days. I go for the cross corner myself. Well, maybe he's looking at something else now.
Maybe rail first on the 9. Not an easy shot.
Maybe.
He might be what he's looking at. Yep.
That was tough. I thought speed was tough on that as well.
Yeah, even if he would have connected, he didn't have a shot on the 5.
Yeah, I mean, you figure if he makes the 9, probably the 5 comes out a little bit more because he did catch it thick, but I don't know if he gets all the way out. All right, this will be a nice light speed. No reason to hit this real hard.
You know, it's kind of a funny thing, too, as the last few years we've seen dads fall up of his optimum performance ability, but I just couldn't pull harder for somebody than him. I just love his game. I love his composure. Sometimes he gets a little temperamental, but nonetheless, overall, what a great guy to have. I would never be afraid to bet on him.
Yeah, and that doesn't bother me, the temperamental, especially when it's an occasional thing. It's just the guy's fighting, and it's easy to get a little frustrated or a little too much into the moment.
And I agree. I was just saying, I feel the exact same way. He's hard-nosed. I mean, I'd like to go to war with him.
Yeah, I was just kind of, expanding on what you were saying is, when you have a player that's just like over the top, gets upset a little too often, you can see it's maybe not something that's so appealing to watch, but it's also something that carries in and affects their game, in my opinion. But occasional here and there from a player that's, pretty on top of things, to show a little emotion doesn't bother me at all. And now a big shot here in game number 1.
I also love watching his training exercises that he passes out on Facebook because they're the hardest things I've ever seen. He just glides on through there. I love it. Like, sometimes I sit at home and clap. All right. Well, he didn't get punished. He didn't get the ultimate punishment for passing up that push out, but I don't think he'd be passing that back later on.
No. And it's, to me, I look at it, of course, if you hit the ball, you could lose a little confidence. But I look at it as gaining some confidence, too, on that long 1 ball to open right there. That's another reason why I like taking the shot.
Even if you miss a shot, you don't have to sell out a shot.
Exactly, yeah.
20% of the time, you're going to get a backdoor safety.
Yeah, it's quite the opposite thinking in my mind. Some look at the 5 ball like, hey, the 5's trouble. Why take on this tough 1 ball? But I look at the opposite. I want to take on this tough 1 ball and try and create on the 5 later, not have my opponent have the chance to create. So.
Right. Yeah, I'm not want to rely on my opponent making a mistake. And then the other part of it is Roland's got a little easier time playing the 1 because he has to play the 1.
Yeah.
He doesn't have an option.
Well, and he didn't hesitate there. He took on a really difficult rail first on that combo. That wasn't easy. Now, Roland's the guy who usually breaks the balls really well.
Seems like square hit.
Yeah, but it just still seems like the timing maybe of the 10-footer. It takes the guys a few games. You're not seeing the pop on the cue ball much. Maybe that extra foot of distance is, maybe they ain't quite got that down. Now Darren with a nice shot on the 1. He'll come over to the side rail.
This will be a delicate play here.
Yeah, getting by the 5 between the 5-8 is tough. Could draw the cue ball out.
Monster draw shot.
Yeah. Now, if he can just tickle it up by the side, between the 5-8, that would be great to get the shot on the 3. The 4 does pass in the corner by the 8. It does pass by the 5 in the corner as well.
Boy, this is treacherous here.
Yeah, and on the new felt, it wants to hook a little bit out of that. It hits the ball on the rail real quickly like that. It wants to hook a little and go towards the 5 with the cue ball, so that would be bad. That's why I didn't mind the draw stroke. let's come to the other end of the table, Mark, maybe.
No, I think that's what he's psyching himself up for right now is a power draw straight back, that right where he's at now with the cue ball. Now he's top spin. Hooked. Oh, he hooked it right through there. Look at that shot. Look at that shot. Oh, man. That's world-class pool right there, right between the 5 and 7.
And he doesn't want to shoot it over, that's for sure. He kind of it hooked all right. And I think he had a little plan of coming to that side of the table, just maybe not as clean as it acted. Now, does he have to go to the top rail here, or can he float?
Man.
Nice shot.
Boy, look at that.
Now he'll hold on the 6 to just cut the 5. Problem is, where's he moving the 6? That's what he's going to survey now.
Got away. Boy, he didn't hit it very hard, but man, it just kept going and going.
Yeah, and he got, I mean, it is cuttable with a lot of extreme spin. Can he not shave the 5 and go behind the 8 with the cue ball? I thought he could shave the 5 and just go below, beside the 7 over behind the 8, and he's giving up a piece of this.
Might be enough to bank even.
Yeah, it's close. Even if he had to jump a sliver of it, it's not terrible. I don't recall Roland playing in the 10-foot before myself.
I don't believe he has. Drain that stun stop bank on angle. You can see he's a very up-tempo player too. He doesn't waste time.
No, but a little thin. This is going to get funny though. Maybe even though he's got a friendly bump on the 7, but could have to play from underneath still. Okay, and that's what happens on the slick felt. Not saying it's going to keep him from winning game number 2 here, but he's going to have to make a bit more of a shot on the 8. Killing the cue ball nicely.
I must say, I really like the way this match is starting off. This is going to be another one. Tremendous. And 1-1 is our score.
Right, so
now.
after 2 racks, we got a tie, 1 game apiece.
I've read about Roland Garcia quite a bit, and then right before the pandemic started, there was that big tournament up in the Quad Cities, and I drove up to observe. And then I saw him in person and thought, oh boy, okay, here we go. This guy is just as good as all the rest of the Philippine invasion. There's tons more players in Manila that just can never afford to come here too, that play at that level. I bet in Manila alone there's 30 or 40 guys that play that same, just a smidgen below Bustamante, Pagulayan speed. Game number 3 here, Appleton breaking. It's the 5 and the 8 right behind the 1. It's got the 2 and the 3s on the corner. He didn't get the memo.
Got a little pop on the cue ball, got one down. He's got a nice shot on the 1. I wouldn't say it's a hanger. Looks like the 4 opened up to where it goes by the 5. So pretty natural, it looks like. And speed really agrees with the 2 rails just to get pretty straight on the 4, it looks like. So really here, this shot and gaining position. Looks like the shot of the rack, Mark. Just the way the layout is. It gets on the 4, everything else very playable. This is going to fall a little underneath, and this may be on purpose, but I thought the 4 passed the, oh no, that's a great camera. You can see the 4 doesn't pass the 5 easily at all.
Right, that'd be one if you have ball in hand, you could possibly play it, but anything less than ball in hand makes it super tough.
Yeah, and the thing about the 10-footer is you're not going to get close to it a lot unless you're stretched, right? Like you're.
Right.
So shooting to a half of a pocket, even if you are straight, being stretched is still not easy. And this is not easy either. This got much thinner than he had anticipated. Does he have to use a bump on the 10 here? I don't know if he can really afford to play this with outside English, and inside English certainly doesn't go anywhere great. May have to catch a little of the top side of the 10 here. I'd keep it simple here, Mark. I think if he tries to get involved trying to really work the cue ball, he makes this a missable ball, or he could scratch. Oh, wow, what a beautiful hit that was. I know he may get snookered. But what a beautiful strike that was.
Man, he made something happen there from not very much.
Well, not only did he have to hit the 5 paper thin and definitely ball first, but he had to smooth it and trust smoothing it around the table for the English to take and really get that 3-rail line. So now he's still not out of the woods. And at first glance, I thought the 8 went in the side when he broke the rack, but now I can see the 8 doesn't go on the side, so very difficult. Like here, this is a funny shot on a slick table to be able to come 2, 3 rails really isn't even an option, I don't think. Would you ever come back, Mark, past the side 2 rails using the end rail to kind of slide up towards the 8? You know, with like a middle right ball, kind of like a middle extreme right, kind of.
If the 8 goes by the 9, no problem.
True that. I just kind of assumed it did, and now that I look at it, maybe it doesn't. Cross side bank, maybe?
I don't even mind 3 rail in the 7 around and just stop the cue ball or drag it up by the 9 and just play safe here rather than, he's going. Okay, maybe it does go in the side. He didn't waste any time. No, it doesn't.
No,
Cross
I don't
side
think
bank.
so. No, he's going to cut it. He's going to cut it. This is where if your nerves are good, you can walk this ball down the rail pretty good. Oh, he kind of hit at it. I thought he would use more of a rolling stroke. And he also didn't take as much time down on the ball. Kind of only one pre-stroke there for Darren. Not saying he takes a lot, but
he resigned himself to the fact that he was facing the firing squad, and he just went after. It wasn't quite as devoted of a shot attempt as we're used to seeing.
Okay, kind of squeezed that one home. And now for his first lead at 2-1. Roland, I think 42 years old, early 40s.
He's
41,
42.
42.
All right, Garcia breaking, leading 2-1.
Yeah, his first break, he got a little pop in there, but he kind of crossed him over just a little bit. Normally, like I'd mentioned, Roland really breaks the balls well and figures out the speed. Got a nice pop there. The 3 balls tracking.
And what a nice square hit. 4 ball found the side pocket. That was the ball right behind the 1.
Yeah. 22.26 on the miles per hour, so he picked it up a little bit. You know, and the cue ball speed is one thing, right, Mark?
Mm-hmm.
But I really think one of the ways to track the accuracy and really what you're doing with the timing of the break is really maybe the speed the one comes off the rack. Maybe that will reflect a little more of what they're getting out of the swing they're putting into them. Because you'll find some guys that'll swing lighter and get a little better connection overall. Get a little more movement on the rack.
And we've always referred to that as a square hit on the one.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know the physics behind it, but there is something to some type of timing in there that makes it very obvious to me that they're not putting as much as far as velocity into the rack, but something's better with the swing and the connection. It's almost like when I help people with it seems like when the one's coming off hotter, they're breaking better. Sometimes, we've all had that side rail break playing 9-ball where the 9 ends up on that end rail every time. You just can't ever get that enough speed on the one to get it around. But when you do, it seems like that's the connection on the rack you want. And this seems the same with the 10-ball. Now rolling a little long here, so he may have to take a thin one in the side as he take in the corner.
Hey, you don't want to have to deal with the 10-ball with the cue ball, so you want that angle down on the other end of the table if you can get it.
Yeah.
He just picked it up by a hint here. He was able to play beautiful. 2-cushion position. Falls off the side rail right at the 8, right into the zone. Nice angle to go to the 9.
Should be another 2 cushions. Oh, no, he just played 1. Camera fooled us a little bit.
Preserve this angle. Now it's just rolled in.
And a very dangerous guy, even though I believe this is his debut at the Bigfoot Challenge. I think he did play at the International on the 10-footer, but didn't have the results. But I think he's a very dangerous opponent and a very dangerous player for this event. Gets very comfortable on here. I think he's going to be a tough out. And now up 3-1.
First break and run out of the set. Roland Garcia. That really puts the taxation on. Appleton had to take on a tough, what was that, the 8-ball down in the corner. And he kind of one-stroked it and gave that shot up. And now Garcia has taxed him 2 games for that miss. One 3 is our score. Appleton trailing and breaking. Five and the 4, right behind the wing ball.
We got the speed on the 4-railer better. He's made the 1. He's got a great shot on the 2. The 4's on the other end of the table. I don't think it passes the 9, and I don't know if he can draw the cue ball.
I don't think he can reach this, even with the extension. No.
Well, he's a great bridge player, so
yeah.
I don't. I doubt he doesn't. I doubt he goes passive here. I think he still tries to draw the cue ball back for position, even with the crutch.
The skills with the bridge really come into play on the 10-foot table, and it's only a foot longer, but it comes up so much more often that you need it. And so, you can see he has good form here. He didn't overdo the position play there. He just let the cue ball get back to the side pocket, and that's when you're with the bridge, you want to be conservative.
Watch out over the 7-10 or the 8 here. He's overcut it. And I think that had a lot to do with trying to get that 2-rail position on the cue ball and staying away from floating up on the backside or the top side of the 8 or the 7. Does he go aggressive here with the kiss shot?
I think so. I think he's going to play the 9. He's checking the 4-ball, and people might at home think he's thinking about playing the 4-ball. but I think he's more looking at how he's going to get position on the 4 after he plays a 9.
And I love this because you can play the two-way. You can play them, where you play the 9 and.
Beautiful shot. Beautiful shot.
If you happen to pocket the 4, it didn't hurt you.
You know, the Filipinos are much better at that particular shot in controlling the secondary object ball because they have to do it in rotation so much more often, which I was talking to Efren the other day when he was in St. Louis, and I was asking about how much rotation's being played, and he says it's almost no rotation anymore. When I went there, it was exclusively rotation, which I think is the best, most skillful pool game there is, 15-ball rotation. Look at that, trying to develop the 7. What a nice hit that was. Yet another tool that comes out of playing rotation right there, developing subsequent object balls while maintaining position to get, trouble.
He's going to get straightish, so he's going to have to work on the 7 pretty hard. But one thing you can notice from Roland that was real smart about that breakout also, he went in there gently. Wasn't going to let anything bad happen off of those balls.
Yeah, it was one of those things, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I'm still going to have the good shot.
Yeah, he's just got to kind of cheat the pocket here a little bit, try and creep the cue ball out just a little, just to make cueing a little better, a little more comfortable on the 7. Don't think he's going to go crazy with it. Roland's a very smart player. He knows the skills he really has, but also recognizes when he's got to like pull back a little bit and just keep it simple. Yeah, well, he didn't get it much out at all.
It was really straight.
And now he's actually, I would have much rather been a little more where the 6 was than I'm at now, because now you're going to catch the 8 and you're going to go away from the 8 a little bit with a high ball.
It suggests that you were right. He was trying to work the cue ball out and just hit the pocket a little bit.
Oh, he missed hitting the 8 coming in, but also missed the 7. So prime example of where the 10-footer may cause a little extra mistake. You get a little more out of line on that 6. And
well, we know the 7 wouldn't be hanging on a 9-footer.
Right.
We know that.
Okay, speed's good.
Good shot. Yeah, it laid funny to go to the cushion, so Daz just drew it back up out of the hole.
Now to 3-2. Roland will break in game number 6.
One time I was talking to Darren, and Chris Melling was there, Jason Shaw, and imagine the 3 of them grew up in an area where they all interacted and played against each other as they're becoming players, I mean, then Carl Boys was around a little bit too. But, I mean, imagine that talent pool. My goodness, you'd have to get tough to hang with those guys.
Kelly Fisher was around that,
and
too.
Kelly, yeah.
She was snooker, of course, at that time, but early.
And I think they all played it all. I think it was snooker and English 8-ball and pool, and so.
Sure. Whatever's around the pool room, you're going to play it just like we do. If there's a 3-cushion table around or 7-footer. Now, Roland, I would say, has broke the balls the best between the 2 players so far. All right, balls went a little long there. The side pocket balls.
Yeah, great opening break. It's just nothing found the pocket. Now Appleton comes to the table with a super open layout.
Yeah, a little straight here. 2 doesn't go by the 9 or the 3 in the side. Doesn't go by the 6. This is a little funny. You may have to like pound the ball a little bit or pinch it, kind of like the extreme one way or another to try and get the cue ball out. Yeah, like that. It wasn't too dangerous, but what it was him just taking that few extra moments to make sure of what he's doing.
Just another good shot.
Yeah, perfect speed, pretty
Golly.
much. or good enough, anyways.
Yeah, because you had to warp the angle with inside spin and then hit the pocket. You better play a lot.
Yeah, you're kind of going against the grain and then picking the speed back up with the spin. So always more of a, a manufactured kind of like show us your talent, Darren, kind of shot. This is perfect. Be aggressive with the stroke, pulling the ball here. No reason to back off. Go ahead and come out a good, 18 inches off the rail. Kind of like that. People say, well, you get more angle, but you cue the ball better. You're a little closer to it, so you just get a little more accurate. You can add a hair spin if needed. Better than, killing the ball and being 5 inches off the rail. And you're a little heavier on the 5, but you're further away. You're still a little funny where the cue ball's going, so better to be closer to it. Now, the problem with him is the 6 doesn't pass the 8. So that's the worry he has. If he comes one rail, he's going right at the 6. Kept it simple.
Oh, I like it. Yeah, just take what it would give you.
Still working, though.
Oh, no, he's,
Wrong side of the 6
Herculean
a little
effort
bit,
here.
huh?
It's a little bit wrong side. It's a little bit narrow into the side pocket, and then you got to create an angle to avoid the clutter down there.
I was going to say it.
Good shot.
Yeah, it looked like he had to do that because of the 10. If he went forward, he was really involved in the 10 if he tried to come to this top rail and back down.
Able to bend the cue ball out of the side pocket scratch there. That was nice.
Yeah, he's got, I'm trying to see, don't know if it's just cosmetic or looks like he's got something towards the end of his wrap. It's maybe something more of a mark, a tool for his hand that maybe something he's been working on. Can't tell if it's just the cue stick itself or don't recall that on his cue before though.
It looks like he's playing with an extension, and that might be, an extension on the extension or something.
Yeah. Well, it looks like the white breaks in the wrap, like right where his hand goes. It's kind of like, doesn't seem like something as far as a decoration you would normally see on the cue. You see how it's kind of slanted now? You see how it's a little cut right there as well?
It almost looks like some Strickland tape is on there.
Yeah, like he's got it's got a purpose, basically. That's what it seems like. And it's on his break cue. You see there's another position of some tape there on the break cue.
Good solid run out there by Appleton.
And it ties the match at 3 apiece. So back to where our player that won the lag, he will break in game number 7. Saw some great Banks matches there on the little break we had. Skylar Woodward was playing Tony Shohan in a first-round match.
Oh, what a draw that is.
Yeah. Some of the Euros playing some tough matches. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like he, and I don't think he's trying to unload on him. I think it's really a speed break he's going for here, but still hasn't really hit the rack twice the same yet, Mark. So it's a little alarming, I think. All right, just shoot the gap. You don't have to get close to it between the 4-5, 4-10. Oh, he's going to come out. I thought he would just maybe draw back an inch or two. No reason to take an angle on the 2, I didn't think. He's going to come forward. Nothing wrong with that.
No, I think he felt very comfortable with his speed control that way.
It's all about simple there, right?
Yeah. So he could just draw back, just past where the cue ball resides right now. Good speed. Checking on the 6th ball as we speak. How much pocket does he have over there if he goes by the 9, or does he want to do something different?
Yeah, he can go down below, play the 6 by the 7 in the side. He could draw off the 5 for the 6 in the corner, which is what I like.
I think just bring the cue ball out to the middle and play.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just saying he had options. He can go back past it for the side if he wants. He can. I like drawing out to the center myself. I stay away from the side pockets a little more than most maybe, but that looked pretty simple.
Gorgeous.
Now the 8 doesn't pass the 9, so he's got to be a little aware of that. Thing is, he can play for the 7 in the corner if he wanted to stop on the 7 for the 8, if just in case he didn't like it. Now, most would move for the side, but just got to be aware, again, the 8 doesn't pass the 9.
Yeah, if you had a stop shot in the corner, that'd be wonderful. Then you'd be right on the 8, 9.
Yeah, that's what he played. That's what I like. Don't go out of your way for those side pockets in the short shot.
Well, that was a really, really salient point there to be conservative, because now look at it, it's going to be stop, and just move the cue ball a little bit to get on the 10.
And he wasn't going out of his way to be conservative. It was real natural. And that's the beautiful thing. You're not letting up on the stroke. You're not doing a lot of things you don't like. You're just kind of pocketing the ball.
Good run out there from a dry break by Appleton. Roland Garcia has one of his sponsor patches falling off. He's pressing it back on.
Yeah, the one on the sleeves was always a difficult one for me. Seems like...
Probably you're moving your arm up and
yeah,
down
I don't know what it is yet.
But he will hate it if he's out there in the middle of a run and it falls off on a ball.
Yeah, hates it. Understatement. Great guy for the sport here too, Roland. Really nice guy. Always, has something nice to say to everyone he comes across.
Yeah, very endearing.
And Darren trying to get in that game mode. Okay, everything went a little long. The 2 balls behind the 1 went a little long past the side. The 4 railers both went long on his last break. 8's tracking. Took a little speed off there. 3 may get in the way. The 9's coming up in problem territory, but the 3 got in the way, but yeah, he took a little off. You could see 20.06 there that time on the break speed, where he was up to almost 23. But the 3 got in the way, but the 9 may have helped and made the rollout a little easier. Okay, not taking much time. So what's that mean? Which way is he going here, Mark? Is he going off the inside of the 1, 2 rails towards the 4 with the cue ball?
The one thing, if Darren passed that offensive shot, I can't imagine he's going to take this one on.
Well, I don't see him taking this on, but also the shot I was talking about, you have to worry about kissing the 9 coming by as well. So
no, there's some real problems there.
I think he was supposed to pass this, and I really don't see him doing anything but coming inside off the his left side of the 1 with a top inside English coming 2 rails towards the 4.
I don't know if we can get the overhead real quick, but you can see he's going to try to drag the cue ball back
I
down
thought he was
here.
going off the other side of the 1, this side of the 1, and coming 2 rails like that. That way he could create momentum a little easier, Mark. You know what I mean?
Well, he might not have my shot, but it looked like that's what he was thinking about, because then the 1 ball goes away.
Yeah, it goes towards the 6, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that is what he's doing now. He's elevated for sure.
If he has that.
He's flat, though. That's why he's got to elevate. So this the 1, he's still going to lose the 1, isn't he?
Got to manufacture the angle.
Oh, he held the 1 nice.
Yeah.
And he held it so easily, hard for me to believe Darren's passing that shot. I mean, he held that pretty easily and got the cue ball down the table nicely. So 2 pass-ups on rollouts that, And the funny thing is, maybe he's one of the greatest ever in that kind of gamesmanship situations of like rollouts, right? Like, oh, when do I take it? When do I not take it? What do I do with it? Always considered Darren one of the best in those situations.
And now it looks like he's thinking about a two-cushion kick. I think it's going to be played with light speed, too, if he goes two cushions. Just enough to get the one over there to the side rail. And that way, if you sell out something, a lot of times it's only a bank or it's another safety.
Yeah, I think he goes a little harder than that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Just a little. Just they
Great
feel
result.
the line so good that way, you know, it's like.
That was a great result because it took a lot of the pace out of the cue ball and kind of died when it lightly bumped the 7.
Yeah, if you catch it like you're wanting to, the cue ball's not going to follow through it much. You know, if you catch it thin, the shot's kind of not what you want anyways. You know, you're probably going to give up a shot. But if you're coming behind it full, cue ball's not going to get away from you. Now this, I go for the make. Try to kick this in center ball cross side. Oh, wow, he missed it.
Well, Darren rewarded for a great two-cushion kick. Now he needs to convert that.
You know, roll the one on the side, maybe get a little bit of an angle. Now, if he shoots it in that other side there where he's going, he'll draw back just a touch where he can reach it. I don't like going to the side rail where he's looking now. I like staying like in between the 6-3 with the cue ball myself. You can work it a bunch of ways. He's going underneath it. Well, now he's a little straighter. Shouldn't hurt him. Just draw towards the 3. Oh, it's coming this way. Should be the 5 up long or in the side, huh, Mark?
Yeah. Well, we'll see how he gets here. Yeah, I think he's going to go in the far corner pocket. I don't think he's going to try to get up on top of it.
Nah, brings you towards the good side of the 6 pretty easily.
Just roll it down there a foot. He shook his head side to side as if to say, I got just a hint of the wrong outside angle here that's going to lead me towards the side pocket. I hate it.
Yeah, so now he's got to stun a hair more to hit before the side maybe, which is fine. It's just the problem is he knows he's got to go into a piece of the 7 maybe when he shoots the 6. Got the 9 there as well, so some things could get a little bit hairy. Oh, he played it light. Nice shot. You level out, follow past it here, Mark?
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to end up being.
Yeah, I think a nervous guy elevates the cue here. I think a guy that's calm here and thinking well just levels out, makes a nice stroke. Well, they're staying neck and neck. This is the tied at 4 apiece.
Hey, much like Keith McCready says, we got us a pool match here. Boy, this is my shortest drive of the last year is coming over here. It's just 4 hours. And I was telling Nick Varner how it felt. He goes, boy, you got to feel like you need to drive around about 3 hours just to feel like you did something.
I'm sure Nick will be showing up at some time this week.
Yeah, can't wait to see him. There's our TPA, 863-902. Probably at 820 is professional class, 870, world class. So we got some pretty good figures going on.
Yeah, and a few more early mistakes from Darren than you would think. I'm not sure it really would have changed the score line a whole lot. But again, another guy that usually gets stronger. All these guys do.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a bulldog. Okay, it's the 5 and the 7
He
right
hit those
behind the
more
wing.
like what he wanted, I think, anyways.
2.
Yeah.
Open shot on the 1.
Much better. It's when you're taking speed off, 21.54 there. But when you're taking speed off, you really have to practice that. Your instincts are to be aggressive with the break, making sure you're back and forth and through the ball, right?
Yeah.
When you're taking speed off is when really you can have actually more mishits on the 1 and just an uglier result, it seems like. It's something you got to practice. That's for sure. You would think it's easy. Oh, let me just break 50% and just be able to pull the trigger on doing that. It's not that easy.
No, right.
You almost have to leave the body out of it completely, in my opinion, when you lighten the break up and just go to more of an arm break. Now we'll see him with the crutch. Natural 2 rails inside the 610. Wants to capture the speed to not fall on the rail and unluckily get straight in here. That's the only thing that really cuts him off here in game number 9.
Oh, he took that rail out of it by going extra power to make sure he's leaving that cushion.
Yeah.
Much improved.
Yeah, once the ball gets out away from the rail, or just remember, if you're off the rail, you can always work the ball. You can draw back to the rail you're underneath if he needed to, if he had fallen straight on the 5 right here. Now, when the object ball's near the cushion, now things get a little different. You need that angle plus off the rail. But when the ball's out in the middle of the table a little more, it doesn't take much to be able to work the ball. And now Darren, is this going to be his first break and run? It got a little funny, and it's just a thing he has to pay attention to. I think he can hold there and use a little bit of an angle on the 9 to work to get on the 10. Oh, wow. Why didn't he just want to stay underneath there? He really threatened the pocket on bobbling that ball there, Mark. I think that was totally intended, cheating the hole.
Boy, yeah. And once it gets a diamond past that side pocket, even a guy that's much taller than him has a hard time reaching it. That being said, the best players on 5x10s were very short. Jimmy Karras.
Yeah, straight pull though, right? For the
Mosconi.
most part. Straight pull for the most
True that.
part. So.
True that. But still, run 300 balls on a 5x10.
Yeah, I think, is it 265 in tournament play? Jimmy Karras holds the record, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I think U.S. Open 5x10, 265, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that they ever played a race to. I mean,
no, he just kept running the
okay,
balls.
yeah,
Then
that might be true. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think because I was around Jimmy and when I lived in Jacksonville.
All right,
for a year.
ladies and gentlemen, we got
What
some
a pleasure
great
that was.
pool
Or
we
2
are
years
witnessing
rather,
here.
yeah.
It's the Diamond
I think he
Bigfoot
told me
10-ball
that
challenge. 16 of the
He
greatest
played the
players
5x10 U.S. Opens, won 2 or 3, and then retired. Went on to do the exhibitions. Came back, won him another U.S. Open or another world title when they had switched to the 4.5x9 in the mid to late 60s, I believe. So,
And what a pleasant guy.
and took 15 years off doing it between.
Incredible talent.
No, and witty, man. I'll tell you, when I was around him, he was in his 90s, and so physically, he couldn't play anymore. His knees were a little shot, but I'll tell you, he still had that brain. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, what a blessing to be around him. I was around him just a few exhibitions and got to speak to him, but pleasant guy. You can see, just exuded class.
Yeah, I was lucky enough. I got invited to the World Straight Pool. I believe it had to be 2000, year 2000. And we didn't play straight pool where I'm from. And, I lived there, and I was lucky enough for him to show me some things. And really mentally what he showed me more than physically. Look at that, 19-9.
But
So
ton of ball action. He moved 8 balls
Oh,
or
yeah.
into the pocket or
Yeah.
on the other end of the table. So he
and that's
was a
what I mean
square
about
hit.
that connection. It's not really always the speed. It's just I don't know what it is. It's hard to explain, I guess, but a difficult rollout here.
The last ball rolling got him too. He looked like he might have had a shot. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no,
I
you're
want to hear.
good.
No, I want to hear about.
No, I
Jimmy.
was just saying that what he helped me mentally helped me much more than the physical side of things he helped me in straight pool. I'll be honest. I mean, I was on a tight table, but when I first started, I had trouble running 40. It seemed like, and I was a good player. So
Yeah.
But then he just told me a few things mentally, and then I pretty much went in the next day and started running 100 every day. And got up, on a tight table, about a 4-inch pocket table.
Might be as much psychological that Jimmy helped you than anything he actually told you.
Well,
right?
yeah, he just calmed me down a little bit. He said, "Hey, you're a great pool player. Just get to running some balls. Don't think so much. Don't worry about the rack. You'll take care of the rack. You're worried about the rack too quickly, early. And once I did that, I just, like I said, got shape on the next ball and got shape on the next ball. Things started to put together, and the game became 10 times easier. And it was just, like I said, he would watch me more than anything and then make a few comments here and there. So, great swerve shot there. He's going to have to come with another great shot on the 2. Little bit of an angle. He can afford to go to the rail. He can afford to put a little speed on it. It'd be nice to not have to shoot this too slowly, huh, Mark? You want to put a little speed into this one.
And that's the way he plays the game, too. It's going to pace that in there or not in there. So, clearly, as evidence, when you miss by that dimension, it's only that you find it distasteful and you do something with your mechanics. It's never an aiming error that misses by that amount.
Yeah. Tell that to a lot of amateurs I teach. Let's leave the aiming. We'll just not talk about aiming for a little while or blame it or anything. Let's just talk about, let's do some other things besides the aiming part. That's actually the easiest side of the game, in my opinion. All right, 2 rails. It's going to get a little thin on the 3, but not bad.
Well, good job there.
Oh, he actually got pretty full.
Last time I saw Jimmy Karras was in Oshkosh, Wisconsin at a mall. He was doing an exhibition. I couldn't wait to see it, and it was phenomenal. And then I got to talk to him for a bit afterwards, and I'd seen him before, but it was the first time I really got to share some conversation. Just a pleasant, cheerful, wonderful guy that's totally confident, but not egotistical in any way, just down to earth, just like, man, I would love to be like that guy.
Yeah, so much charisma, I think, that guy. So.
And he was very short. Would you say he's 5'3" or something? I mean, right?
I don't know if he was 5'3".
Yeah, might not have been. But very small.
Oh, yeah, small guy, yeah. Small guy. He was a fighter. He fought a little bit when he was young. I talked to Jimmy a lot. He went to a dear friend of mine's pool room there in Jacksonville, Florida, Harley Bryan, who's another legend of the game. Look at the GOAT, greatest of all time. Efren Reyes.
Certainly my favorite of all time. Him and Rolando. Rolando been with Efren ever since I first met them in the early 80s.
Yeah, and I've always heard that, Efren has always taken a very good liking to Roland. And I'm sure the vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
All right, a little high with a little bit of check spin here. Okay, some come across as kind of preference here. Some say don't cross the line, but don't fight it. If it wants to come across, there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's not the type of shot the line of the cue ball should shark you so much.
Well, you're going to have to work harder to stay on the other side. You know, so that's
well,
your point.
and even if there's an inch difference, like it's a little easier to stay on this side than it was on that shot, even if you do want to come across rather than pull the ball up the rail, you know, once you're close to it and tidy there, it's a little preference involved. And now 2-game lead for Appleton, and we'll break the balls here in game number 11.
Yeah, 886 now he's playing at. Yeah, a lot of people would like to have watched the pool that Rolando's got to see Efren play over the years in many places that you don't even know of them. You know, I mean, there's all these great conquests.
Practice sessions. I used to spend a lot of time watching him practice in the 90s. I took full advantage of getting to watch him hit balls.
Efren's so funny too. You look like this. We were together and he was like, "Ooh, cue ball no good." Talking about his own play, like, oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. Cue ball no good.
All right, Darren looked like he was improving on the break, not backing off. I like that better myself.
A very square hit. Is the one going to sift in? It did.
The 2's coming down for a side pocket, maybe.
21-18 here on the
tough side pocket. Ooh, how you hitting them, Mark? This is a shot. If you're hitting them well, you go to the rail and come back out for the 3. Wow. Very slight angle. It looks like if you really hit it well, you might come one rail and bump the 8, maybe. That's kind of what it looks like it wants to do. Actually, could be straighter than that. But this is a shot if you're feeling well, you're feeling good, you take it on. Just watch the transition. Get a little quick from the top here. That makes that ball want to bobble on the side, even if it hit pretty well. Oh, he hit it sweet. He got across as well.
Yeah, that's some good fight.
You know, a lot of people don't realize cueing off the rail, really knowing you don't have any side rail to slide the ball in like you do in the corners. A shot like that in the side can do a lot for your confidence.
Yeah, it's a very narrow pocket coming at it from that direction at that velocity too.
Yeah, and you know, maybe being on the rail was the toughest part of the shot.
And then look at how effective he hit the cue ball. He barely hit it, but got lots of draw out of it. Stayed real smooth through it. Yeah, there's a lot of good signs here for Appleton's form.
Well, especially commented after 8 games, he had 7 mistakes, and that's not something that's very common with Darren. And I'm glad to see he's really putting forth the effort to improve as the match goes. Because I've seen it, I've done it, but I've seen it with Darren. I think he's fully committed right now to try and get back to form. That's the feeling I've gotten from what I've seen on social media. Talked to him a little bit over in London, just seeing what he's doing with tournament play and whatnot. But I saw a few years ago when he wasn't playing as much, it seemed like. I wouldn't say ever he gave up, but I could see frustration getting the best of him a few times, which is, you know, possible for any of us. But you know, Darren, you know, he'll let you know what he's thinking sometimes. So.
Well, life's hardships got in the way for a couple of years.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is, you know, and we're not all just robots. But, yeah, I'm a fan and pull for him every time he goes to the table.
Just go forward past the 9 here. All these types of shots, never any reason to get thin. Again, the ball out in the middle of the table, you can draw off of a straightish ball. If you get a little angle, you move it to the rail. And now for our first 3-game lead, and it seems like an Englishman that's getting stronger here, Mark.
Second break and run out of the set.
And a break and run from Darren Appleton. Want to give everybody a heads up on.
Looks like we're going to have a timeout from Garcia. Yeah.
4 more matches in round 1.
Dwayne Payne calls timeout. That's our referee.
4 matches tomorrow. We'll
Okay, everybody, the players are back, and we're back. Continuing action here. Roland Garcia now set to break. He's taking a short timeout, trying to not allow the match to slip away here. Appleton seems to be picking up momentum.
And, you know, timeout's there for a reason. No reason, you know, you figure out a good place to use it. Good pop on the balls there. Nothing down just yet. The three's a little long, and the one's dressing up for Darren. So the two is very accessible here. The three in the center of the table. Really, the work here, it looks like, you know, can't take anything for granted, but really looks like from the 4 to the 5 to the 6. Now the 3 will be gone here in a moment, so that'll open up the 5. And really just short of a miss or maybe under hit the cue ball extremely here. I don't see a whole lot of problems.
No, this is the point right here. This shot, this makes everything play super good if he gets on this 3 straight in the side.
And he's got room to work the ball if he falls a little off angle on the 3. But one thing about the 10-footer is, like right here, he ended up short. And did you see a little let up there on the downswing?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
A little bit quick with the back, and sometimes when that happens, you tend to let up a hair coming downward. And good thing for him is he didn't lose his tip position, so he's still all right. But one thing about the 10-footer, when you get comfortable, like these great players, you know, they stay comfortable, it seems like, but you got a lot of room, right, to work. If you're thinking well, you're striking the ball well, you know, that usually tends and leans towards great decisions, and the 10-footer will give you some room to work the cue ball. So
nice recovery position shot there too, going to the end rail with or outside English, and then allowing to check up with the right speed.
Yeah, and just like right here, if you understand that close is not essential, the 8's not really a threat, the 7's not really a threat, you kind of come across the line to where the cue ball's at now and just drift a little further. Oh, he came a long way.
No, he way overcut it. He bumped the 9 going by there. He wasn't planning on bumping the 9.
He put a ton into that cue ball there. I thought it would be more of like a one-rail stun out to the center and take a little chip shot on the 6 rather than coming back so much off that 5.
It reminded me as sometimes I'll be over a ball and then I'll have a brain synapse misfire. Yeah. And then things
let me shoot a little harder.
Just all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Like, what did I do that for? I know better than that. He's overcut this. No. Trickle down.
Yeah. Well, these are 4.5s.
Yeah.
So with the slick felt, you're gonna say, well, he really mishit that ball, but he was definitely playing to the heavy side of the pocket. And not only that, at the light speed, you know how it is, Mark. You feel like the ball might drag a little on you, kind of pull, so you play it. You cut it a hair more to that side. Okay, preference here if you hit the second rail or not. Most do. Oh, watch out. This is going to get deep again. So it really hasn't.
Yeah, he didn't want to get down here. Anything above the cue ball plays great. Now this is awkward as could be.
Yeah, and he's got to hit it light again. And the thing is, I don't think the side's in play, but it's close.
That's a relief. And this shot's not tough, but psychologically, all those other previous shots kind of gang up on you because you've never been in line the way you should be the last 4 shots. So.
Yeah, one of the easier layouts of the rack, but he's working through it after getting out of line a few times.
Good job there. Yeah. Tough-minded Darren Appleton takes home in the dry break. Now leads by 4 games, Jeremy. And look at the 9-10 now.
Yeah, he's grown. It's almost like he saw that stat that had 7 mistakes, listed at 4-4, and really shored that up here the last 4 games.
Yeah. That being said, he didn't really play hideous even when he was making 7 mistakes, because in between time he was really making hay. But the referee rolled the ball to Darren, who had most of them racked up, and it went into the pack, dislodged them all. That's our referee, Dwayne Payne.
Yeah, Dwayne, he puts some miles on it too. I tell you, he gets around.
Score is Appleton 8, Garcia 4.
Now Darren, who seems like, I thought he was a bit of underdog in this match when it came to breaking the balls. Now, not the match overall, but just the break side of it. But it seems he's gotten it down a little better. Well, everything a little long again. So Roland's got his opportunity here with a hanging 1 ball.
Boy, it's deep in there too, so going rail first isn't that easy.
Yeah, I think rail first still okay. Kind of goes at the 2, it looks like to me.
Mm-hmm.
Which, odds are if you go at the 2 here with everything so clear near the 2, you're probably going to be okay.
My real point was that he could make it rail first, but he can't control it like he would if it was just another.
Yeah, especially when you come across the spot mark. Any shot you're shooting a rail first, you're coming across that spot angle. A lot harder than, like, say you're shooting from where the 4's at or something like that, right? Yeah, see, it comes at the 2-ish, so should be okay.
Good speed.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, he's still got a lot of work, though. The 6 ball, good thing the 5's not too far away. There is a 6-10 winner possibility. And just because of what he's seen Darren do, not even so much the score line. The score, of course, 4 games, 8-4, but very much now or never for Roland. Got a little straight here, so you have to put a little power. Is he going to fall below this? This could get funny. This could get funny quickly. He's going to have to turn it loose if he goes offensive. And that's just from having to put a little more power into that 3 ball because he fell a little straight and he wanted to get kind of close. He could have just stunned and stay in between the 5-8 and taken a little cut shot.
Well, he's got a little cut shot now. Cue ball's going to be super hot.
Maybe hit the. He played the
smart.
safety, caught the point.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Just to not even fool with it. Cut shot. Cue ball be flying, and you might not even be able to make it.
Well, Darren's probably going to be okay with this kick, considering if he doesn't catch the point, he's probably snookered behind the 9 and 6, which could be tougher. Good camera here. He can get up underneath this. Now, I try to spin and kick the 4 between the 8-7 this time, right? Let the cue ball slide over a little. The problem is he's got to go a long ways. And he's got to have some left spin unless he wants to chip the 4 and run the cue ball. That's a possibility.
Great shot.
Yeah, he's going to love this.
Fantastic.
All things considered, he's going to love that.
What a nice hit.
All right, there's a gap between that 6-9. You would think bank the 4 away and playing behind that, but there's a lot more room there than you think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think in this shot, the priority is get the cue ball over there on that second diamond. Just try to get to the long rail here and not worry so much about the 4. Look at this.
It's going to leave a gap.
Now, it's that's the shot I was asking for. But that is also the chance that you take with that shot is that you can. But
there was just more room over there. The 6-9, it's great and all, and that's what you have to do. But there was just a possibility of giving up that shot. There wasn't ever going to be the cue ball squeezed up on the backside of one of those balls. You know, so
it was just managing risk, and this time it didn't work out. But he played the shot in the best way possible from where he was at.
Well, he's going to get a little the wrong side here, so. And the 7's a huge ball. So he's going to size up a 6-10 combo, I believe. Does he come 2 rails out of the corner here to get a little closer? Almost got to, doesn't he? 2 rails like a middle left spin. That's a little hot. It's a little hot. Still going to shoot at it, though. No passing on this one. Unless he can't reach it that great. The corner-to-corner stretch is by far the longest stretch there is. So, caddy corner. And he's a righty, so he can reach over. Shouldn't slow roll this. Nice shot.
Good call there. Nice shot by Appleton. He's really starting to.
SVB in the house, watching a little bit.
Now that guy, he's one of the premier ice fishermen in the world, and he plays a little pool too.
Yeah.
Right? You see some of those fish he's caught lately? Oh my goodness.
I've been up there with him before, not the ice fishing, but I went fishing in early October up there. I went 2 years ago, was it?
Uh-huh.
Or was it last year? I went up there and yeah, I caught one of those Lakers that he catches, those big fish. I caught a young'un. It was only about a 23 or 4 incher, but I caught it at 115 feet.
Yeah.
That lake he's in is them Lakers are way down there at the bottom.
Incredible.
Yeah, he was telling me about those fish. He said, yeah, the ones I catch, I'd go for the older ones. They're about 30 years old, them fish, 35 years old. I'm like, wow. All right, a lot of speed off of that. You know, I don't know if it's too late or not for Roland because of the score, 20.14. So definitely took some off from the beginning, and now a medium tough shot here on the 2. Especially like no guarantee on the cue ball with the 2 being a little thin. He's going to shoot, though.
Talking about SVBs.
Can he hit this with a high ball?
I think he can go over there by the 6.
With just a natural high ball, maybe bumps the 6 off the side rail.
Yeah.
Easy to overcut this one. Oh, he hit it sweet.
I've never met anyone that was more enthusiastic about fishing than SVB. No, really, you know, you'd think it would be that way. I mean, I know he loves pool, but you don't ever hear the kind of the glee.
Is he going to get jacked up? No, he's okay. Over the 7 there would have been treacherous. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I know a lot of guys that are very, very enthusiastic about their fishing, but I think you could give Shane that label of maybe the most because these guys aren't out in the ice fishing at minus 20 degrees and all that. They're in the sun, maybe drinking a cold one.
Oh, yeah.
You know, enjoying everything in their shorts and flip-flops, and he's bundled up. So.
And now you know somebody else that's not very enthusiastic about it, which is me. I have no interest whatsoever.
Well, I do like the fishing. I started doing it during pandemic, but no ice fishing for me. All right, Roland needs this. This is roaming a little bit here. Okay. He didn't get too thin, so he can hold the speed for the 8.
Good shot.
And gets another inch or so thinner on that ball now. Could get a little funny. Hey, he goes in the side, it looks like. Maybe he's playing the corner. We'll see.
Yeah, well crafted. This will be Garcia's second breaking run out of the match.
Yeah, now 9-5, is that right? And so Appleton will break off here in game number 15.
9-13 for Appleton. Quality so far. Yeah, I was watching Shane's. Now, I do enjoy watching Shane's videos on Facebook of fishing. So that's as close as I want to get to that. But anyway, he bores a hole down through the ice, and he's way out there. I mean, could you imagine if you fell in that water? I mean,
well, they know pretty good.
I'm just saying.
Pretty good, yeah.
But for his fish, he has to bore 2 holes to get the fish out of there.
Well, what he'll do is they'll drill out or whatever, like 5 or 6 at a time.
Oh.
And they'll drop lines, different ones, yeah. So see which one's hot, which one's not, where they're hitting.
Didn't know.
They take the snowmobile out there onto the ice. So I tell you what, is awfully pretty up there, though.
No, I like that part.
Now, yeah, but I'm talking about, you know, besides the ice fishing, just regular fishing, pretty awesome.
Okay.
And the wildlife and everything. All right, here you might use the 7 to slow the cue ball down. Looks pretty natural to come across, catch a pretty nice heavy lower side of the 7 to hold the cue ball for the 2. That way you're not flirting, trying to float or maybe scratching that opposite corner. I think you can use the 7 here. Looks to me too thin to maybe not use the 7 mark.
Yeah, for sure. And then, you know, the 4, the 3, and the 4 down there, that'll be interesting too.
3 goes off the 4, though.
Yep.
Oh, he played it cleanly. Nice.
So he was able to
Yeah.
slip past there. Boy, that was narrow, though.
Yeah, he was confident with it, though.
He was that.
So he'd love to have had a little more angle. Now, the one thing is here, it looks like top inside's just the natural way, but a lot of times the guys will stun here and cheat the pocket and really pound the ball a little bit more towards the 3-1 rail, which is what I like. 2 rails to me, seems to me, could catch the 7 and maybe not take very much.
Mm-hmm.
So I like just stunning 1 rail straight at the 3 myself.
He for sure wants to be on the angle, but he would love to be close.
Oh, he went twice. 2 rails would draw. Well, he wants to play it off the 4. That's just all there is to it. Now, the key to me is when I shoot this, when I get a little out of line, when I miss it is when I overhit it. You know, if I just play a nice little draw stroke right here, you can bump the 4 a bunch of different ways and still make the 3. You can hit it thin, you can hit almost half the ball and make it, and everything in between. When I hit it hard, I lose accuracy. Maybe cut the 3 too much, double kiss the 4, something like that. So I like this at a somewhat lighter pace. Not real light, but somewhat. Yeah, I like that. Now, he double kissed it anyways, but I think it was the best percentage. Put him behind the 6 here. Looks pretty natural.
Yeah, it's kind of that one pocket safety. He's looking at banking the 3 ball over there, trickle the cue ball in between the 4 and the 6.
Yeah, maybe even bump the 6 a hair, maybe to open it up just a little bit. He bumped it too much, maybe. He got the 3 in a great spot, I think.
Yeah, I think getting the 3 where he wanted to get it was a little bit too thin, so then the cue ball is going to go into those balls a little heavier or a little hotter speed than he thought.
Yeah, he can. I would figured he would dig down on this ball. That way, if he comes across it, the cue ball crosses over the top of the 10 and then comes back to the end rail near the 6, something like that. You don't have to dig down a ton, but you do need to come downward on the ball a little bit. He's hitting a high ball, so maybe he's just trying to get the 3 to the back rail behind the 8, like that.
Boy, what a good job.
Yeah, and that's just keeping it more simple. All right, he knows that, hey, it may not work out, but it was simple to execute, and I got a good chance of getting him behind those balls. Now Roland again has to have it. 9-5 here. Super nice shot. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Brutal.
He got there as far as a swerve.
I don't know. It takes a pretty full Manasay to get around that. That's a lot.
I thought that's all he's got, though.
Yeah.
He could kick it, I guess, maybe, and lay on it. I think he's going to swerve it, though. Pretty shot here. Slow swerve. I think he makes it.
Oh, what a hit.
Now he's dead straight on the 6.
Now, he made that look easy. He had to bend that a lot, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you could tell the slow speed. That's the only reason you're going to hit it slow is if you got to bend it a lot, really. All right, watch how he's really trying to warp it with the inside. Oh, he got a ton out of that. Wow. He almost hit the 9 with the cue ball on that shot.
Oop. Sorry about that.
Used every bit of the pocket there on the 7.
Now he's falling just a hint straight. Looks
Yeah.
like he can stun it back. But
Yeah, he won't take any chances if he
he's gonna
probably
draw.
don't use the rail.
No, he went up.
Yeah, a little light stun draw. Roland very aware of what he can reach as well. So
Pretty to watch. A well-played game there. Appleton's a nice kick and stick shot. Didn't turn out perfect. He hit it really well and just left a thin cut. Roland made that thin cut. Then he had to come up with a big masse, beautiful masse. And then he went ahead and made a nice run out. He even had to do the stun two-rail or just getting past the 9.
Yeah, and he can put a ton of heat on his opponent right here with a break and run, or just win this game here at 9-6, make it 9-7. Darren with a dry break in his last, so maybe a little mindful of that.
Score is Appleton 9, Garcia 6.
Looking at the banners, and there's a guy that just Lee Van, I'll tell you, is a guy you just don't think of that much, but sure seems to win a lot of tournaments. You know, especially for a guy the last few years hadn't played in a ton. He hasn't been here for all the events like a lot of guys. But sure seems to show up when he does appear on the tournament bracket.
It just seems like he gets in the money in the Bigfoot every single time.
Yeah. All right, nice speed on the break there.
Square hit.
The 4's going to get him, though, on the 2, I think. And again, a very difficult rollout situation. This is one thing the 10-foot will allow you to do a little more of, is challenge your opponent on a rollout. We've seen it already early here in this event by both, you know, unexpectedly a little bit. You roll out near the 5, push past the 5 a little bit for that kick there. Maybe kick the 2 up table. I mean,
yeah.
And this is difficult to roll out and let him see a piece of the ball. Lots of balls in the center of the table, so rolling out and being able to play safe is a very doable thing. Now he's looking at the challenge, which is nothing wrong with that. 10-footer, you're going to see more of it. But I thought this was more of the rollout. He would go towards the 5 for the kick on the 2. Now, I think Darren, nothing wrong with Darren passing this, especially with the 9-6 lead. I know you don't think the score is supposed to matter on your decisions, but it really does. All right, I think he's left maybe a sliver of the 2, maybe not. No, it doesn't look like it now. But would you say we've seen some interesting passes on rollouts early in this event, right? Both matches.
Yep. Yeah, I can't object. I mean, Darren wouldn't want to take that kick. You had to manufacture an angle. You could have scratched off of it. I mean, you hate losing kicking.
Well, that's the thing is that's why the score to me actually mattered a little bit more in that scenario. What a great shot there by Darren.
Unbelievable shot.
Is, you know, Roland almost scratched on that shot coming off the 5. There were a lot of things you couldn't factor in and know for sure. So with the 9-6 lead and Roland's back against the wall, I don't think you're supposed to take that kick. Now, there'll probably be another kick shot on a rollout in this match that Darren may take. But I think that one was a good pass. Oh, he's going with a high ball around the 5. He didn't want to draw his ball here.
Look at what a pretty shot.
Wow.
What a pretty hit.
Yeah,
That enabled him to feel more confident about his accuracy, and he's just letting the cue ball go where it naturally wants to go. He felt the shot for sure.
Well, that and, you know, some guys, if they're not dead stroke, right, the draw from a little angle right there that kind of makes them say, well, is there another option? And there certainly was for Darren Appleton. Okay, keeps it simple between the 10-8 here to the center of the table. We got a lot on that. Is he going to be able to reach this easily?
No problem. No, he's fine.
Okay, came far enough for the right-hander to be able to reach it. Stops about a few inches shorter, though. Could be a little funny. Now he's just perfect. Another one-rail angle. And it's something, too, that, like, getting close to your work, right? I always tell people, if you have good position, stay aggressive with good position. Don't back off. You know, when you start to get a little out of line is when you have to manage a little more. But Even though he got a little angle here, he's so close to it, working the ball is no problem.
I just love his stroke. It's so simple and compact. You don't see a lot of flashy movements out of it, but he gets the job done. Very, very consistent.
Gets him to the hill.
Big game there. Yeah.
10-6 in another position to break the balls 3 times to win this match, and you can't ask for much more than that.
Appleton first to reach the hill. 10-6.
Where is he at? 896?
896 to 849. Nice little format here. You know, the guys here today, they get a little bit of a break. Tomorrow, the ones that advance, they get to play in the main events, get some banks on, and be back. What would that be? Today's Friday, so that'd be back Sunday, the guys who win today. And then, you know, for the guys who play tomorrow, they were off in the 10-footer today. We'll complete the first round of the Bigfoot Challenge tomorrow evening. And we'll have just 8 players left. Darren had a dry break, or maybe 2 in a row on the dry breaks. So we'll see. They've been making the opposite ball more. That would be the 6 in the side on this rack. That one didn't come off very nicely at all. Cue ball's going to come up and give up a thin cut on the 1 with the 2 near. So that's the first of 3 breaks he'll have to win this match. And, of course, the game's rolling breaks. But Darren wants to get this thing over with quick as possible. All right, got to gain an angle here. Yeah, he didn't know what was going to happen, did he? Because he shot that kind of quick, and it was imperative to get decent on the 2 to get on the 3. So, and now he's dead snookered.
I think he really thought he was going heavier into the object ball, the secondary
Oh,
object
the 4 ball?
Right.
Yeah,
And then,
okay. That makes more sense.
Then
Because
when
he
he
shot it quickly.
But then when he shot that hard, I think it sunk the rubber in deeper, and it sprung off there and got a little thinner than he was.
That's a rare miss on a pretty easy 1-rail kick there. And
He was trying to do something with it, though. He wanted to hit a side.
yeah, I agree with that, but I still thought he'd hit it, right?
No, well, this is the penalty. Yeah, you're pretty much forgo winning the match, because now you're relying on Appleton not getting out with ball in hand. And he's shown very little willingness to not get out with ball in hand thus far.
It looks like the 6 passes the 10 to me. So really getting a nice shot on the 3 to come up and get nice and heavy on the 4. You don't want an angle on the 4 going away from the 5. If you can handle that with the 6 passing the 10, I think should be okay. Important shot here to get on this 3, like I said, to be able to come 1 rail and get nice and tidy on that 4. You don't have to get close to it, like super close to it, but you don't need much of an angle. See that shot right there, for me, I always follow my ball into the opposite side pocket and follow down there in that position. I just always do that better than I do lightly stunning. Okay, watch out 9 ball. Watch out getting jacked up over the 9. He's good. Now again, it looked to me the 6 passed the 10. If that's the case, he'll want to come down just past the middle diamond off the 5, and that'll leave a nice angle on the 6 to get up for the 7. Now, if it's any kind of tight, he can come across off the 5 in between the 8 and 9 and take a nice little cut shot on the 6.
I kind of like coming across, because you got to get clear back down table in that 6. You don't have to play that with pace past the 10.
No, but it should slide. You know, it's just a matter of if you have the entire pocket, it should be fine. If there's any threat at all, I kind of like what you said coming across. Now he's gotten perfect. Now he just wants to creep this pass with a little inside, just past the middle diamond, it looks like to me. Now he's eyed this up like it's kind of tight a little.
It is,
you know?
yeah. I can see here on the overhead, it's tight. You know, if he gets all the way down, though, and doesn't like it, he can still play a combo or a billiard.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is the 7 can be a fooler. You don't have to get but to the middle of the table off the 6 to be having a nice shot on the 7. You know what I mean? You don't have to get all the way down there. I think he's gotten perfect myself, even though he kind of shrugged a little bit. The key to this shot, Mark, is don't let up. Don't let the ball kind of grab on you a little bit. Make sure it cuts nicely. Be very surprised if there's a problem here. Oh, and that's exactly what happened. He kind of caught it heavy into the rail. Kind of two-stroked it, to be honest with you.
I think he hit it right where he wanted to. I think what happened was that it was that tight to get by there.
Well, if it was that tight, I would have said probably come across for the 6 in the opposite corner if it was that tight. Especially because he had the option to do so. So now 10-6 gets out here, 10-7 and breaking. A little in between, can play the corner or the side.
All right, Garcia takes advantage of the hanging 6 ball. 10-7's our score.
Yeah, and Roland's kind of turned the break around. So we'll see if he can take advantage of that here in game 18.
There's Billy and Cardona. All right.
Yeah, I think he was arriving today. I thought he was.
You ever see him much at home?
See him more out of town than I do home.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he and I both, we don't get to the pool room a whole lot, believe it or not. So
One thing I saw you were in, I think it was Roanoke, doing a kids clinic recently.
a
Is that
few
true?
months ago, I just
Was it?
went. I just after the international, I went there for a few days just to help some different kids.
Well,
So
it seemed like more recent than that you were helping some kids somewhere. I could be wrong.
maybe in Fort Worth a little bit. Went over to the billiard supply and did some things with a few juniors
okay,
and stuff.
Yeah. And
Fort Worth Billiard Supply, what a great place that is. Albert Trujillo.
can't say enough good things about your contribution to the sport, Jeremy.
Oh, thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
I want to do more, to be honest with you. I think I got to concentrate a little more, figure some things out. There's so many people doing good things in the sport, trying to make it better. So, and here's what I was talking about. He's making that ball on the side a little more often now than Darren is.
There's Billy and Efren. Look at those two. They go back. Billy says Efren's the only player that plays better than he matches up. Meaning that he can't talk Efren out of enough spot.
Oh, my, I didn't expect that. So maybe Darren gets to redeem himself with a big shot on the 1 here.
Boy, is it ever.
A lot of traffic. I don't think he's straight enough to draw it. He's going to have to let the stroke out to get in between the 7-4 and back down. I think it's doable, though. I really do. I think it's just a straight high ball. If you kind of bang at it, I don't think you get there. You probably miss the ball. But I think use that good stroke. I think he gets there.
Is there ever an inclination to play safe here?
Yeah, I mean, you could bank it back down and try and squeeze him underneath. You could cut the 1 and run the cue ball. That's a doable one. I like him shooting, though. I really do. I think it lays nice to get there. Oh, he kind of popped it. He kind of tried to stun around those. Where I thought if you stun, you're always going to hit the 7, it looked like to me. But okay. Touchy little shot here. Don't want to leave an easy kick with the 6-4 there. Like if you play the 1 underneath the 6-4 and run the cue ball, you could leave an easy kick shot. So I may just shave the 1 here and put him behind the 6. no jump cues, so. Oh, he could hit it thick and get there. Did he get there, though?
No, he didn't. I can see that he has direct access.
But can he cut it in the side and hold the ball? Wow.
I don't think so.
And he can't cut it in the side and hit the 2 either, I don't think. Okay, so now he's looking to put the 1 behind the 9 and use the 9 and 10 as a safety, I believe.
No, I think he was looking at where the cue ball is going to be.
Wow.
I think he thinks he can trickle that down there.
Wow, you know how soft to hit, and you have to aim a hair thinner when you hit this soft because you're going to drag the 1 a little bit. So even tougher in that regard.
It was always a tough shot.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
It looks like he's attacking.
So, what a hit that was.
Super shot. I'll tell you what. I mean, the way Roland's broke the balls the last few racks and the way Darren really has kind of dry broke. This match is far from over here at 10-7. Even with Darren getting to break the balls 2 more times. This is a funny little shot, right? I mean, the 4 doesn't pass the 7, so getting on the 3 correctly is kind of crucial. And there's not a great path going around the 9, it doesn't look like. He's going to end up over. All right, that worked out. Got to take on the ball in the corner. He's overcut it. He's overcut it. And that, you know, you get used to playing on real tough tables, right? But you have to understand when to use the rail also. Like that shot there was definitely at that pace one you could definitely use the rail all the way up to about the middle diamond, to be honest with you, from that angle. The ball slide, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's, these guys train to not use the rail that much. And when they're on these, the tougher equipment, they, to hit the ball as clean as possible. But at times you just have to realize that the rail's not the worst thing in the world. This is going to get funny. Okay, he'll take that on.
Yeah, not as bad as it could have been, that's for sure, but it's not an easy shot.
No, and it's just anytime the ball's deep and you're coming across that angle, across the spot, kind of like, it's just difficult to determine how it's going to come out of that pocket. Just like the rail first earlier for Roland on that 1 ball.
Right. No, his cue ball definitely arced quite a bit coming off the initial impact on the object ball, and that took a ton of pace out of the mass.
All right, that's the shot that probably wins the match for Darren Dynamite.
Good shot there,
Appleton.
too, because he didn't overhit it. He didn't, and sometimes what happens is when you want to get more pace on the cue ball, you tend to cut it a little thinner, trying to help yourself, and then you bobble the object ball, and then.
And the thing is, you'll make that minor adjustment that Mark's talking about without even knowing. It's almost like a subconscious. Let me push it a little bit to help the cue ball. Let me, trying to open the pocket up a little bit to help the cue ball movement. So you got to pay attention. That's why learn to not adjust when you're down on the ball. Period. And that's just the best way to play if you can do it. Now, there's certain shots when you get on top of the ball, you're close to it. You have to get down on the ball and kind of feel what's going on because there's not enough room to really get a line on the ball, right? But overall, when you're down on the ball, you want to be pretty concrete on what you're looking at.
Is he going to be in between here?
No, he's good. This ball rolls out pretty nice. This diamond ball
sure
does, yeah.
Good shot, good speed.
I haven't got to play with him, but I saw him at the International, and I like the looks of the cue ball overall.
These are the diamond cue balls you're talking about?
Yeah.
We're playing with Aramis balls.
And they seem to match up pretty good with the Aramis, though, and Daz is going to move on to our final 8, so we'll see him again on Sunday. See more of Roland in the main events.
quality performance all the way through. I don't know what the final TPA was, 877.
Yeah.
Pretty darn decent.
Yeah, and he'll build on that match, Darren will. He'll be very conscious of what happened there and probably look for him to play better in his next.
There you can see in the background he's clearly pleased with this outcome. All right, this has been yet another presentation of world-class pool from AccuStats. We hope that you enjoyed this as much as we have bringing it to you. Please join us again soon.